I'm tracking our next round of thunderstorms. That means today is a WRAL weather alert day. We'll talk about the severe threat and when those storms will start.
And right now we are talking about a deadly crash where WRAL's breaking news tracker was overnight. Part of I-886 in Durham was closed for hours after a car hit and killed a person. What Durham police are saying about this situation. And out on leave, UNC football GM Michael Lombardi was placed on leave. And what we're working to learn from the university after that happened. Certainly a lot of questions that we have, including why was he put on administrative leave? But we'll dive a little bit more into that this morning. Thanks for joining us dark and early here on WRAL News. I'm Chris Levingood. Before we get to all that, we have to, of course, swing into weather with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's looking like it's pretty active north of us. Is that situation going to come our way? Wait, what's on our way?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a little bit complicated. So this front that moved across Chicago and parts of the Midwest yesterday is producing some showers and thunderstorms way out ahead of the front. We're going to see a wave of some rain this morning, and then this afternoon the front gets close enough that it may redevelop some thunderstorms, and that's when we'll have the best chance of severe weather. So today is a WRAL weather alert day. Technically we have a level 2 risk for wind damage, but there is a small tornado threat as well, and we're going to go over that threat and who's most likely to see it. It's not necessarily for the entire viewing area. Best chance for severe storms will be between 4 and 8 p.m., but we are looking at a chance of some showers around midday before the severe threat starts, and depending on how much rain we see, how much cloud cover is left, it may limit our potential for the severe storms in the afternoon and evening, and that's definitely what we're hoping for. It's a quiet start this morning. None of this affects the morning commute. You can see it's dry here through downtown Raleigh as we take a look from our Jimmy V camera. 73 is our temperature. It's a muggy start, and it will be a hot afternoon, high temperatures in the low 90s. Once we get past today, we get a surge of some real pleasant air that rolls in. I'll show you what that will feel like coming up. Chris?
All right, sounds good, Elizabeth. Let's get back to that breaking news. I think I'm just waking up. I said I-886. It's actually part of I-885, which actually exists north in Durham. And that's staying closed this morning after a car hit and killed someone. This is a story we have Kelsey Coffey on right now on the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Kelsey, this road, it has been shut for hours now. Can you walk us through what we've learned so far?
Yes, Chris, part of 885 in Durham is closed this morning after a deadly pedestrian crash. We'll go ahead and give you a look at what's left of the scene here, since officers have been here for hours since just before 10:30 last night. 885 northbound is closed between Holloway Street and Cheek Road. We're working to get an update on when this part of the highway will reopen, but it looks like this crash is in the clearing process. We're also asking questions about what led up to this crash, and we're also asking about what's the status of the driver. So we'll be sure to keep you updated if we're able to find any new information. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Well, family and friends of a Carey mother missing in Grenada are getting support from the community. Liz Waddell vanished while vacationing on the Caribbean island with a friend. She was last seen on camera footage from a bar and grill while swimming at a nearby beach on Wednesday. Police are asking fishermen, boat operators, and others to help look for her. And Waddell is well known in Carey as a physical therapist and a fitness instructor. While her husband and daughter have joined the search in Grenada, people back home are showing their support for her safe return.
What is your message for her family?
I hope they find her, and I hope she's fine. And I can't imagine in my head what could have happened.
Waddell's husband shared a message on Facebook saying, "Send your love, light, thoughts, and prayers our way." If you have any information that could help in this search, you can call Carey Police. Well, there are new frustrations that are growing over the proposed merger between WakeMed and Atrium Health. Hundreds of people gathered in Raleigh last night to share their concerns with WakeMed leaders. The town hall at St. Ambrose Episcopal Church was organized by the Patients Union, and it's a national group represented by local faith leaders. Among their main demands, they want to see the full details of the deal between the two hospital systems. WakeMed CEO Donald Gensig said that won't be possible. He said county leaders, including 3 Wake County commissioners, were allowed to view more of this deal. Organizers of the town hall say this is a personal fight that grows out of love for WakeMed.
The hospital that allowed me to hear my son's laugh. The hospital that gave my children a chance to grow up with their mother.
WakeMed continues to argue this deal will allow them to remain a healthy, competitive hospital far into the future. And Wake County commissioners haven't decided when they plan to take a key vote on this deal. There's uncertainty in Chapel Hill about the Tar Heels' upcoming football season, and questions are kind of swirling right now why the team's general manager, Michael Lombardi, was placed on leave effective immediately. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar is reporting on that story from UNC Chapel Hill. Ali, we're trying to answer those questions as the start of fall practice. It's just days away.
Yeah, and just about a month before the football season kicks off here at Kenan Stadium. On3 Media reports Lombardi's leave stems from an HR complaint. We are working to confirm that, but here's what we do know. In a statement released yesterday morning, UNC says Lombardi was placed on paid administrative leave. That statement says it's standard procedure with personnel matters that leadership, staff, and student athletes are prohibited from addressing this topic further. WRAL spoke with 99.9 The Fans, Adam Gold, about why it's important this announcement did come from the university, not just the football program.
It wasn't a firing. He's basically given paid vacation for now, but it does appear to be an HR situation, and we know those can be tricky.
WRAL has asked UNC and Carolina football whether Lombardi was placed on leave related to an investigation and if there was any indication of how long this leave may be. We also asked, with football season coming up, whether there's any plan for an interim general manager. In response to our questions, UNC directed us back to their original statement, which basically said it's a personnel matter and they will not discuss it. UNC will open its second fall practice under Bill Belichick on Thursday, and they will have a point where they will be talking to media. Of course, WRAL will be there. Reporting live in Chapel Hill, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
And WRAL has been following Michael Lombardi from the beginning, including how he helped Bill Belichick become UNC's head football coach and his hand in building the team. It's all laid out in the WRAL documentary, Coaching Carolina the Belichick Way. You can watch that right now on the WRAL YouTube channel. And we'll be working throughout the day to get new information about this situation. So watch our evening newscast starting at 4 p.m. for new developments. Well, it looks like gas prices are holding steady as there's a pause in fighting between the U.S. and Iran. New data from AAA this morning shows the national average stayed the same, $4.11. North Carolina's average dropped to $3.79, and in Raleigh, $3.82. Now, oil prices, they've been sliding too. Brent crude closed yesterday, down to 11%, it looks like, from where it was Sunday. But Gas Buddy petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says that it will take more positive developments in the Middle East before we see gas prices go significantly down.
Until these situations improve or de-escalate, we may continue to see a bit of upward pressure on prices. And that's largely behind the big jump that we've seen coast to coast.
Now, to find the lowest gas prices near you, you can use the WRAL Fuel Tracker. Just head to WRAL.com and search the word fuel. Well, today a formal funeral service for Senator Lindsey Graham will happen at Washington National Cathedral. President Donald Trump will give a tribute there, and Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky are also expected to attend this event. Tomorrow, Graham will return to his home state of South Carolina, and services there will begin with a public procession to the State House. After that, there will be a private family burial service. And Graham died July 11th after complications from heart disease at the age of 71. Former South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford will run for the Senate seat vacated by Graham's death. Graham's sister, Darlene, is serving in the seat until the end of his term in January and is running for a full term. Congressman Ralph Norman is also running for that seat. The special primary election is August 11th, and the winner will face Democratic candidate Annie Andrews in November. The North Carolina Gang Prevention and Intervention Task Force will meet today in Raleigh. And the task force is comprised of local law enforcement, education leaders, legal representatives, mental health and substance abuse organizations, and people who have left gangs. Their focus is to reduce the presence and effect of gang activity across the state, including on young people. Today's meeting will be at the Governor's Crime Commission starting at 9 a.m. And our WRAL documentary team uncovered the types of gangs operating in the state. We analyzed the crimes that they're committing and how a recent change in North Carolina law is making it easier for them to recruit children. You can catch Easy Targets, Gangs Getting Younger in NC on the WRAL YouTube channel. Well, one of the most influential tech companies in the world turns 50. Cary-based SAS helped transform North Carolina into a hub of innovation. In an exclusive interview with WRAL, founder and CEO Jim Goodnight looks back at how it all began and what he believes is the future.
What's ahead for SAS?
Well, we are adding right now a lot of generative AI features to SAS to, when we find a money laundering situation, we will then use AI to explain exactly what we found. We don't use AI to produce answers, but we use it to try to explain the answers.
Goodnight explains how the employee benefits pioneered by SAS are now industry standard. You can watch the full interview when WRAL presents SAS at 50. Airs tomorrow night at 7:30 on WRAL. All right, folks, the Powerball is still up for grabs this morning. The jackpot is now up to $663 million. No one matched all 6 winning numbers during last night's drawing. And the next drawing is Wednesday night. You can watch that drawing right before the 11 o'clock news on WRAL. Now, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot, that has reached $800 million. It's the 10th largest Mega Millions jackpot in history. And the lump sum cash option is $344 million. You can watch tonight's drawing before WRAL News at 11 as well. Time on the clock is 4:40, getting ahead of the storm. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers are training to respond this hurricane season. The joint effort to support recovery before a major event happens.
And today's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Wind damage would be our biggest threat, but it certainly would be possible to see a tornado, maybe even some hail. I'll show you where we'd have the best chance of seeing that coming up. .444, taking a look at our next weather maker. Notice this front out ahead of it. We do have some rain, a lot of lightning with this. That's going to dive down over us by the middle of the day today. That's going to be our first round of rain, followed potentially by a second round, which could bring us some severe storms. But if we do end up with a significant amount of rain and cloud cover through the afternoon, that could limit our severe weather potential for the second round that would come through late afternoon. But assuming that we do see the severe weather, wind damage would be our biggest threat. Tornadoes are not a zero threat. We do have the possibility of a few isolated tornadoes, and I'll show you where they're more likely coming up. Large hail also possible, but it would definitely be a low end chance there. We have the top of the tower lit in pink for cloudy skies for this morning, and we're looking at pleasant conditions if you're headed out for a morning run. No rain, and by the pool, things, of course, could get a little bit dicey even around lunchtime. Temperatures this afternoon likely to climb into the low 90s, and of course, we'll be dealing with some showers and thunderstorms. We'll walk through Futurecast coming up in just a bit. Chris?
All right, sounds good, Elizabeth. We'll see your full forecast in a bit. Well, video shows the intense moments lifeguards jumped into rough waters to save a boy. That happened at Santa Cruz, California over the weekend. And the person who took this video says the conditions on the beach, they just started to change rapidly, and the boy was overpowered by the waves. A lifeguard and other people at the beach rushed in to help. And a second lifeguard was able to help the boy get to safety. Well, that was one of about 24 rescues on Saturday in Santa Cruz County. And there is even more video from California you should see. Look at this. A plane made an emergency landing at Huntington Beach. The pilot says everything was fine before he took off from a nearby airport, but his engine failed as he got into the air. Don't like that. Well, he had to quickly find a place to land, but despite all that, no one was injured. So if you haven't seen it, Savannah Guthrie released an emotional new video in the search for her 84-year-old mother. The Today Show host shared what she called a very specific message with her followers on Instagram.
And I know that you have tried to do things the right way. So I'm asking you, begging you to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her.
Savannah's mother, Nancy, was reported missing nearly 6 months ago, and there are multiple rewards that are being offered in the search for her. North Carolina is suing the Trump administration again, and this is the latest in a long list of legal fights over millions of dollars in federal aid. FEMA officials are threatening to strip emergency aid from states if they don't adopt President Trump's proposed rules for the midterm elections. North Carolina is one of 24 states calling that unconstitutional. Attorney General Jeff Jackson says North Carolina could lose millions of dollars for counterterrorism, natural disasters, and rescue operations. FEMA is defending this new policy as necessary. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is training to respond to any storm that hits this hurricane season. It's a joint effort between the state, FEMA, and a local applicant. They're working to gather information for disaster management purposes, and the information helps the government decide whether federal assistance should be requested. It also chooses the basis for a disaster declaration.
The team is learning how to do assessments post landfall of a storm of what they need to look for if the coast is impacted by any tropical event.
Now, officials say the real test is after the next storm and when those assessments help guide recovery decisions. And yes, we are in a hurricane season right now. Elizabeth, I know the tropics, they've been kind of, here and there. We know Bertha is one thing that was being watched for a while there. But I think some people just need to remember that we're not out yet. It's still very much the season.
It is, and we haven't really been talking about it that much. It's been very quiet. The pattern for this year looks like it would bring us fewer storms maybe than average, and hopefully that will remain the case. Our next weather maker is coming out of the Midwest. Specifically, you can see this band of showers and thunderstorms from last night right around Chicago and parts of Illinois and Indiana. So that's going to be diving southward. Right now, looking at the rain over the Ohio Valley, that's likely to arrive here by lunchtime, and that could settle the atmosphere such that we don't end up seeing severe storms later this afternoon. But the Storm Prediction Center still has us under this level 2 risk. And so if we do see the severe storms, it would be likely late today. Between, say, 4 and 8 p.m., the main threat would be wind damage, which is pretty typical for us. Our tornado threat usually around here is fairly low, but we do have a small risk for tornadoes, and the storms will be dropping in on us from the north. Our entire viewing area, as a matter of fact, the entire state is under a level 2 risk. And of course, that is on a risk a level of 1 to 5, on a scale of 1 to 5, I should say. So some scattered storms could produce some wind damage. This morning, we're mainly cloudy, and it's likely to stay pretty cloudy for us this morning. We're going to notice by lunchtime the showers that start to drop in on us, and then the potential for a secondary line of thunderstorms. Now, this version of Futurecast doesn't show this because it shows so much rain for us in the middle of the day. But notice around 8 or 9, some of the eastern counties get into that severe thunderstorm potential. Right now, it's quiet. We take a live look from our Jimmy V camera, and we're looking at dry conditions for this morning. No issues for the morning commute. 73 is our temperature. This afternoon, highs climb into the low 90s, and we do have the potential for showers and storms again starting pretty early as lunchtime. 91 is our normal high, so we're close to that today. Temperatures in the 80s Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So we don't have any big heat in our forecast, which is definitely a good thing. So it is a weather alert day with that potential for some rain and then the chance for some severe storms. I'm going to outline the exact area that could have isolated tornadoes if we end up seeing them coming up. Some nice mornings ahead. Thursday morning and Friday morning, our overnight lows are in the mid 60s, so that should feel nice. Turning to the weekend, Saturday looks dry. Sunday will be our next best chance for storms. Chris?
Okay, thanks for checking that for us, Elizabeth. Time on the clock this Tuesday morning is 4:50. The power of light. UNC Chapel Hill researchers are working to make cancer treatment safer. The technology that could fix the lingering effects of treatments. And Carly Simon is dealing with a difficult diagnosis. Plus, Gracie Abrams' new album is topping charts. We'll show you what's happening in Hollywood. All right, an update on singer Carly Simon's health and Gracie Abrams' new album. It's a big hit. David Daniel has those stories and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
I sat down at the piano and played some chords that sounded like a hymn.
Carly Simon says she's been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The Grammy-winning singer-songwriter, who's 83, also revealed she'd had surgery to remove a skin cancer from her face. Simon says the two ailments are why she's stayed out of the public eye in recent years, but, quote, I am still very much here. It's actually a great time for Gracie Abrams. The singer-songwriter's new album, Daughter from Hell, has debuted atop the Billboard 200. It's the first time Abrams has hit #1 on that chart. Fans of Hadestown the Musical didn't wait. The pro-shot version of the Tony-winning show was only supposed to be in theaters for 5 days. But after an opening weekend that brought in $10.2 million, slightly more than Hamilton's debut, distributors Crosswalk and LD Entertainment are extending the film's theatrical run. Singing along in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, there is a new Black Panther. Actor David Johnson will play the iconic character in the next installment of the series. He's going to play the son of the hero, played by the late Chadwick Boseman. Ryan Coogler will direct Black Panther 3, and it's expected to hit theaters in December 2028. A group of UNC researchers are working to make cancer treatment safer. Their focus is head and neck cancers, where treatments can sometimes leave patients with chronic hearing loss and nerve damage. The team is using light to activate medication at the disease site, and their goal is to reduce harmful side effects while delivering the therapies needed.
When we illuminate the disease area with light, there is a switch on these carriers that then is activated, and it caused basically the dissolution and destruction of the carriers to release the drug exactly where we want it.
Now, with the work set to increase later this summer, the next step would be to move efforts out of the labs and into the clinic. In Lee County, the health department is giving out mosquito dunks. These can be placed in any standing water to interrupt the mosquito life cycle and then reduce their population. You can pick the dunks up on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 2 to 4 at the Lee County Government Center, the Buggy Factory, or the County Animal Shelter. And in Johnson County, the Board of Elections is hosting a series of voter ID events. The goal is to help registered voters obtain a free voter photo ID card ahead of future elections. The first event is this Thursday, and that is July 30th at the Mary Duncan Library from 10 to noon. There will also be events on Friday, July 31st and August 7th. Ahead at our 5 o'clock newscast, Lombardi on leave. UNC Chapel Hill announced the football GM is facing administrative consequences. The questions that we're trying to get answered. And mergers concerns. Hundreds of people gathered for a town hall about the proposed WakeMed and Atrium Health deal. What they're asking for to ease the frustrations.